Merry Free Comic Book Day to all. And to all, a good day here on Comics Covered. It's not night, so I can't say good night. I mean, I guess you could listen to this any time of day. If we've established something on this show before, it's that I'm confused by the idea that anybody could be listening to this anytime, and that this isn't live. This is Comics Covered for the week of May 1st.
May Day.
2019. Yeah, hell yeah, May Day. That's my favorite holiday.
We're going down! May Day! May Day!
For the week of May 1st, 2019, also for Free Comic Book Day this week, which was this Saturday. This is episode 74. Here on Comics Covered, we talk about comic books, the world around them, the comics industry, comic movies, TV, games. There's not a lot of news this week, but we'll talk about some of that stuff. We'll talk about the books we read. We'll talk spoilers about those books, but we'll warn you about them before we get to them. I'm Doug, and I'm hosting this week along with my co-host. I have been reading comics longer than him, and he's been reading comics in kind of the grand scheme of things. Not too much shorter than me, honestly.
Really?
I mean, it's been a couple years. Or how long have we been doing this show now?
About a year and a half.
Not a couple years. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah, it's about a year and a half.
Just over a year.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't either.
Also, you're going to always have been reading comics the same amount of time before I have.
What if I take a break?
I don't think you're going to do that.
What if I'm just like, you know what? This year, I'm not going to read any comics.
Like, fuck comics this year. I'm not going to do anything.
You know what? I have beef with comics. With the medium of comics.
Yeah, I'm putting my fist into my open hand. Did it come across?
Yeah.
Thanks.
And so I just stop for a year and a half. And then I start back up again.
Yeah?
And you've been reading comics now for like one day longer than me.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
That's how that works.
You know, whenever someone says Free Comic Book Day, I always think Freak Comic Book Day for some reason. I always see the freak and not free comic.
Okay, the freak works. The comic doesn't make sense.
No, I know it doesn't make sense. I just hear I'm just basically trying to say I hear the freak part and not the free comic part. You know what I mean?
Or it could be Freak Comic Book Day.
Freak Comic Book Day. No, because that doesn't, it's like Freak Comic Book Day. I don't know. It's whatever. This is interesting. My name's Jack. And I'm newer to comics, and I will always be newer to comics. Even if you take a break, you'll always have started a specific amount of time before I started.
Well, okay. If we're talking like cumulative amount of time passed, but if we're talking about like amount of time spent actively reading, I can't do this anymore.
By the way, oh, I lost it. Never mind. Oh, yeah. Are we not doing the last names thing anymore?
Oh, I'm Doug Price.
Oh, God.
No, I'm sticking to it. It's not in our rundown anymore, so I'm going to forget for the next year before we change our rundown.
Okay. And my name's, Jack McDaniel.
Someone out there's name is Jack McDaniel. You can't just dox them like that.
But a lot of people are named Jack McDaniel in the world, I'll bet. And I'll bet some of them are in Ireland, some of them are in, here, some of them are in Vietnam.
I love this segment where you try to think of places. And it took you a while to think of each of them. And the second one, there was a long pause before you remembered here is a place.
You know what, Doug? Shut up. I'm not the one who's hung over and was being a lush last night.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Yeah. If my voice sounds extra, grimy today, it is because my brain is in a swamp. It's in swamp water today. I am the swamp thing. My brain is the swamp thing today. And
yeah, see, it took you a while to get there, didn't it? Huh?
I'm going to talk my orange bubbles, my speech balloons.
Bubbles.
Jesus. are orange, and I have a lot of ellipses. Which do you take that to think that he's like wheezing, like he's out of breath?
No, I think he's just pausing. He has a very slow, methodical form of speech.
I can always take it to mean that he's like, it's a struggle to talk for him. Like that he's like wheezing through it, you know? Like that it's difficult for him to speak.
I mean, I can understand that. I mean, we'll find out at least one artist's interpretation in May.
Yeah, like what it physically sounds like. Yeah. How was your week, Jack?
Oh, it was nice. You know, I mean, we can take this opportunity to talk about Free Comic Book Day. It was wonderful. It was a great time. Yesterday we went to Nuclear Comics in Laguna Beach, which is very far away from us. But Samantha had friends down there anyways, and we met this guy at WonderCon, and he had a lot of books that we hadn't seen at a lot of other stores, so we figured we'd check it out. So we got a lot of stuff there. Actually, let me look at what we got. I just want to share with everybody because I got a lot of stuff that I don't see in a lot of places.
Okay.
Here we go. Have you ever heard of a book called The Eaters by Peter Milligan?
Nope.
It's this random Vertigo thing from the 50s, I guess, by Peter Milligan.
Did not exist in the 50s.
Okay, well, never mind. Maybe not Vertigo, but Vertigo resurrected it, I guess, and they reprinted it and like redid it. And there's this 100-page story that's, I don't know what it's about, but it looks pretty fucking cool. And I've never seen it before, so let you know about that.
Vertigo resurrected The Eaters.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Weird. Yeah. But, and then we got this thing called Odyssey by Matt Fraction and Christian Ward, which I'm super excited for. They said it's like this, like, it's like the Homer's Odyssey in space. So that was cool. Got a book of Cold Spots by Cullen Bunn and Mayor. Oh, I can't read it on this picture I took. Mayor Toffin? Taurus. Maze Taurus. Sorry, that was it. That was really bad.
Okay.
Got a big omnibus of Mind Management by, what is it, Matt Kint? Have you ever read that?
No, I've tried reading some Matt Kint stuff, and I just don't know that I, honestly, if we talk about Black Hammer, maybe it'll come up, but I don't know that I care for...
What about his writing style?
But...
Because he writes this, too.
The writing's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the other exciting one was, have you ever heard of Day Tripper by Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba?
I have heard of it.
Okay, well, there you go. That's what we got, though. I was very happy. They had, like, some people doing sketches outside. We, like, looked around their store. I also found an issue of Low, which I need to get a couple before I can read a whole arc of it. Yeah, so I was...
Did you take my issues
I did.
of Low?
I took you had the first 4, and I need 5 and 6 before I can get anything to continue it.
You grabbed them from my collection and you
Yes,
ran.
I ran. I did run at some point after.
For people who don't know, Free Comic Book Day is like a national event. If you read comics, you probably know about it, but I don't know, just in case. It's a national event where comic stores give away comics for free. It sounds like your store does a lot more of an event.
Well, this wasn't even my store. My store is actually having an event today because they have 2 locations, and one day they have a huge thing at the other one, and the other day they have a huge thing at the other one. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, they have like tents and stuff outside, and yeah, it's a big deal. It's fun.
Yeah. So there are specific publisher books that you can get. Like there was a Spider-Man issue. They're like specifically made for Free Comic Book Day. Otherwise, shops will also, like when they run out of those, a lot of times just start giving away random back issue stuff.
I have a question about the history of Free Comic Book Day. Will you be able to answer it?
I probably don't have.
Okay, I was just wondering, like, they publish these specific stories for Free Comic Book Day to be given off. I wonder if that's a corporate evolution of what it might have used to be, which was like everyone gets one free comic from the store. I don't know. I feel like that makes more sense for Free Comic Book Day. So I don't know when it started or how it started or if it evolved over time to make it easier on companies.
I'm not entirely sure what you're what the scenario you're setting up is.
What was Free Comic Book Day when it first started?
I don't know.
Well, there you go.
It was, I'm pretty sure that's... Okay. But I don't know.
It just doesn't... Like, I get it, but it just seems like... I don't know.
It's a marketing thing. It's to get new readers into the shop. I mean, that's the fucking reason. It's the entire reason that Stranger Things is the main thing in this Dark Horse book. You know, it's marketing to people who aren't normally coming into comic book shops. That's put Black Hammer on the cover. Nobody's going to know what the hell that is. You know, okay. But like it's to get new readers into the shop. People, I go to Free Comic Book Day all the time, and I hear people who are just like, "Is this the day where you get free comics?" Like people come in and so just, like, have no idea what anything is. They're just like, you know, like it's just like, you know, people hear it offhand from people, and they're just like, "Oh, I can just go get a free comic book," and then, you know, maybe it's an opportunity to get a new reader. It's just a sales event for the store. Like they make a lot of money in sales on those days. Like people come in and buy tons of other shit on that day. They get so much more foot traffic than they normally do. So it's really good for the stores. And I don't know. It's just like these things are small. They're basically just ads. The actual publisher books, like they're cheap to produce, and it's just good, you know, like marketing for them.
Okay, so I just looked it up on Wikipedia. I was listening too, don't worry. But I looked it up on Wikipedia, and it started in 2002, apparently, Free Comic Book Day. And it was originally, like, this dude who was writing for a column industry magazine. I don't know. This dude thought it would be a good idea to have Free Comic Book Day as a way to promote big comic book films that were in the process. So this first one was for, like, Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie in May.
Sure.
So yeah, I guess each year it just became a thing to have it associated with a movie that was coming out. So I don't know. That's weird to me.
Interesting.
But, yeah. So that's about it. So yeah, it's basically that entire like thing about just getting new people in the store. And that's weird though. Cause like if I wasn't reading comics, why would I give a shit? I don't know. Like that's weird to me.
It's free stuff. People love free shit. Like I don't know. I have no idea how successful it is in getting new writers in the doors, but I know anecdotally, I have definitely seen people. I mean, lots of kids. Like these things are fucking riddled with kids. Like probably kids who like, it's like parents who just hear it, like they see an ad and like, oh, we can go get free comic books. My kid would probably like that. And maybe the kid doesn't normally read comics. I don't know. It's just a thing that you see and you're like, oh, kids like comics. I don't know. I seriously doubt that these kids coming into Free Comic Book Day are like regularly going and getting comic books, you know?
Yeah. But let's say in that parent in that scenario, are they not like taking them to the store like when they're not free comics? Like, aren't they thinking like if I get them into comics during Free Comic Book Day, they're going to want me to pay for it down the road? So what difference is there? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you get held hostage by your kid. I want more comics now.
It's like the opposite of Taken.
You're asking me lots of questions about how this damn thing works in terms of recruiting people. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Doug. I'm very, very sorry that I'm hindering your experience of life. I'm just kidding. How was your Free Comic Book Day? What'd you get? What was everything?
It was great. Alongside our store is pretty, you know, basic operation there. You know, you get the free books, and then, it's like they had like a sale, like a pretty kind of basic 25% off everything sale.
Nice.
But so nothing like crazy or anything, but I always try to pick up some stuff like same as you. It seems like, so, you know, again, that's kind of part of one of the big motivators for the day is just support your local store. So, well, what did I pick up? I got a couple back issues. I got the first issue of Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley's Batman and Robin.
How much is something like that?
These two back issues I got were just $4. You know, they're not graded or anything. They're just, you know, out of a back issue bin.
Why'd you get them?
Because I've become like, as I'm moving away from trying to read as much physical stuff, and I mean, I've also been picking up first issue stuff for a while, but I'm not huge. I don't really want to like collect whole runs of things, but like if I really like a book, like, it's a cool thing, I think, to have, like, the start of that story, as just a collection thing. And then I have some frames for some of my single issues that I have not yet hung anywhere, but I have a bunch of books that I want to put up on a wall.
That's cool.
Stuff that I really like. So I don't know. I like to. I'm not gonna like have a checklist and try to collect all of Morrison and Quitely's, or it's not always Quitely, but Grant Morrison's Batman stuff. But
yeah,
I really like what I've read of it so far, and I wanted to have kind of the beginning of it. I also got the first issue of Warren Ellis Stuart Immonen's Next Wave: Agents of Hate.
Oh yeah, I really want to read that sometime.
On the show before, but and then I got the first 2 volumes of Ex Machina, say
Frankie
Vaughan, Tony Harris book.
Yeah,
it's very good.
I think I have the first volume. I got it for like $2. It's on newspaper still, which I love. But yeah, that's really cool. So you haven't read that one before then?
I haven't. Yeah, I have. I've read all of Ex Machina.
Oh, so you just got these just cuz?
I don't own it.
Okay.
But I've read it.
Gotcha.
I think I borrowed the trades from a buddy in college.
Oh, okay.
That's how I read them. But anyway.
I feel that.
But I don't own them, so I wanted to own those. So,
okay.
Very exciting.
Do you have a first issue for All-Star Superman?
No. Because
Would you want that?
Yes. Yes, I did not look for that. It's...
I have
never
it.
go in with a plan for what I'm like whenever I end up back issue like long box diving. I never have like a list of stuff, so I'm always just wandering around like looking for titles that remind me of, like, oh, Batman and Robin. I could look for that. So I don't know. I don't know that I've looked for a first issue of All-Star Superman. I would love to own one. I wonder if how expensive that would be.
I got one for $5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's a first printing too. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Big fan. Okay, cool. Well, it sounds like we had a nice day yesterday. What was the weather like on Free Comic Book Day yesterday, Doug?
Oh, it was beautiful. It's been like 50s-ish the last week or so. It was 70, something like 72 yesterday. Okay. It was a beautiful day.
Very nice. We should start talking about the specifics of the weather on this podcast.
Yes, the barometric pressure outside right now is... anyways, you want to talk about some news?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about news.
Let's talk about some news. There's not a ton of news this week, but one big kind of TV bit of news. Not even big. It's just interesting.
Happening. Yeah.
It's happening. So they announced a while back Hulu was making a bunch of new Marvel shows, including a bunch of... I feel like the stuff they announced was all their animated stuff, right? All that, like, Howard
Hulu,
the Duck and...
for some reason I was thinking about Disney Plus, but yes, I believe Hulu was all, like, animated stuff. Isn't there, like... There's a bunch... Yeah, Howard the Duck, there is...
MODOK, I think was getting one.
That's right, yeah.
Squirrel Girl? Was Squirrel Girl getting one?
I think so. Have you ever read anything with her? Does she control squirrels?
I think she could talk to squirrels. I don't know. Squirrel Girl is one of those long-running, like, Deadpool-esque, Harley Quinn-esque kind of jokey characters that I have never been in on. I don't know. Okay. I don't really know much about Squirrel Girl. I know that the bit with Squirrel Girl is that she's the most powerful character in the Marvel Universe or whatever. Is like the joke. Like that, like she can beat anyone, but she's Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, I was just reading something like that Chip Zdarsky wrote, I guess, in the back of, I don't know, it was some like montage of a bunch of heroes saying stuff, like confessions that they called out in the story of the like comic. Okay, everything you say here, it won't be held in continuity. Just say whatever. Just say whatever your confession is, your deep secret. And Beetle's Squirrel Girl was like characterized as basically Magneto, but with squirrels. But yeah, I thought it was very funny. It was a bunch of like people saying like, I didn't actually say this when I said this big moment. I meant this. But yeah, I don't know. It was really weird. I saw it online. Go check it out. I don't know how to tell you how to check it out, but fuck you.
Anyways,
what about Hulu?
Hulu. So they announced a couple new shows that are, I assume, both live action. I think. So we've got these two new shows that are theoretically connected to the MCU in the same way that like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and shit are theoretically connected to the MCU, but only sort of. But
hey, Jarv,
we've got Ghost Rider and Hellstrom, which are two different characters. Ghost Rider, the specific version they're using, they're keeping the actor from the Ghost Rider that was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so it is very heavily connected to that. And then Hellstrom is a Ghost Rider connected character from the comics who is the son of the devil. So
he's legit like the son of Mephisto?
I'm not sure if it's specifically Mephisto.
Isn't he the devil?
I don't really know much about Hellstrom, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea. When I first read this, I thought it was like the Falcon and Winter Soldier, like Ghost Rider and Hellstrom, like going off and having adventures.
He is, apparently they originally referred to him as the son of Satan, but then they have since changed it to be a specific demon named Marduk Curios, which is
a duck.
Nonsense. That's not a name. Anyways,
so it's not a duck.
It's not a duck.
Okay,
not a duck. No.
Oh, that's too bad.
Demon who's a duck. So, anyways, that's the thing. I'm curious to see kind of what they do with that. Have they made any other live action Marvel stuff? Hulu?
Yeah, they had Cloak and Dagger, right?
No, that's on Freeform. Runaways. What was that connected to the MCU?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe all that stuff. I don't know. I thought it was connected as much as the other shows were. I only watched like the first episode. I was not impressed.
Of Runaways?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really connect with it. I haven't read it yet, and I'm assuming I would enjoy it more if I read it. Probably. Yeah. Because that's all Brian K. Vaughan, right?
Yep.
Ugh, he's wonderful.
Or at least the original story is. They have done other runs. They have done other things with those characters or that title since. But the original book is Brian K. Vaughan.
Okay.
But, yeah. So that's interesting. Curious to see some footage or a trailer or something from those whenever they end up getting made. So, because I would be curious what kind of caliber of show those are.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't super into the version of Ghost Rider from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., honestly. I don't know.
Really? I thought he did pretty well as, like, from what I can gather of what Robbie Reyes is as a character, I thought he was with that at least. You know what I mean?
It definitely felt accurate. That wasn't my issue. I don't know. He just felt very shoehorned in, but I guess was more the...
Oh yeah, he was totally shoehorned in. Absolutely. It was really weird why they included him. But, I mean, that doesn't mean him as a character wouldn't be interesting in his own thing. Yeah. I just feel like the way he was used was not the best.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
So maybe he'll work better when he's got kind of more of a life of his own in his own show. So, yeah, very curious. And interesting that they picked two characters that I'm sure they're going to intend to cross them over or whatever. Hellstrom apparently debuted in Ghost Rider #1. So, interesting.
Huh.
So, comics news this week. We had one big new comic announced this week. We have a new Batman Superman comic announced by DC. I don't know that I'm very excited for it, but I heard a new Batman Superman comic. I was like, oh yes, hell yeah, I want that. And then I saw that it is one written by Josh Williamson. Sure, I guess. Okay, I would give that a try, but not with high hopes. David Marquez is interesting. He's the artist on it. He is a longtime Marvel artist. So apparently he signed a DC exclusive in doing this. He did a bunch of work with Brian Michael Bendis over at Marvel. So interesting. And then the series appears to be heavily featuring the Batman Who Laughs. So
the Bat Who Laughs.
You can't. You have to hold them to their crimes. They named him wrong.
No. I just refuse to recognize that. Doug, when everyone starts listening to this podcast, we're gonna have this mass following that always refers to the Batman Who Laughs as the Bat Who Laughs because it's correct. We'll start a religion. We'll,
I'm not starting any religion around the Batman Who Laughs. And also, half of this podcast, which is me, is refusing to call him that because they fucked up and I'm not letting them get away with that.
Well, we'll cull the herd someday.
Okay, that's
Doug.
wow. Hard pivot away from that one. Anyways,
I want to talk about not Batman v Superman. Sorry, I don't want to talk about that movie.
No more.
I want to talk about this comic and its general relation to everything going on, and I kind of want to pivot also because I think this has to do with my experience of DC's Year of the Villain, which came out this week.
Yeah.
So I read the stories and I'm fine with it. I like it. I like the stories in here. I'm still somewhat into this Perpetua stuff going on. I think it could turn out to be somewhat interesting. I know you disagree. I don't give a shit, Doug. Sorry. But in reading how it relates to all these titles, in the back of DC's Year of the Villain, they have these whole pages going on about how this year is going to affect the whole thing and all the titles that are connected and everything. It just makes me not care about anything. I don't know, seeing a bunch of titles that I'm not reading, that I'm not going to read as connected to this one thing is not attractive to me because I'm not going to read it. I don't care that much to do all this. So this is a waste of time in my eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. These ones where they cross over into other titles, I would be more excited if if the event seemed like it was going to have more of an impact on the... That's not even what I want either.
Well,
I don't know. I just... I'm not very interested in this event. I would be... I don't really care for crossover, stuff when books cross over into... I'm tripping all over my words right now, but yeah, I think ultimately I agree with you. I don't really enjoy big event stuff crossing over into other titles. I don't know.
I like the implications, them just using the implications of what happened. Can I just do a quick spoiler for DC's Year of the Villain? Okay, quick spoiler for DC's Year of the Villain, that 25% thing. Lex Luthor wants to disperse his wealth basically to all the villains and give them money and fund them so that they can defeat their hero once and for all. Which I think the implications of that could be really interesting. I'm really excited to see I would love to see what that means for Batman, what that means for these people. I don't know. I think that's interesting, and I think different writers can do interesting things with that sort of concept. With a super hyper funded villains. What are they going to do when money is not an issue?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The other thing I really like is that they specifically picture Psycho Pirate in a couple of these panels, including in the back.
That's because Psycho Pirate is a part of this page here with Bane and Flashpoint Batman, and Psycho Pirate is specifically referencing what's going on in Batman's solo title right now.
Psycho Pirate is there?
Psycho Pirate has not been in it for a little bit, but he is in it.
Dog, I need to read this now.
Yeah, he was a major plot point early on. Yeah.
Okay, for anyone who doesn't know, I love that character, and I don't think he gets enough love. And if Tom King is writing him, god damn it, why didn't you tell me this? I guess you shouldn't have told me this. I was going to read it anyways, but fuck yeah, I love Psycho Pirate.
It is a little bit of a spoiler, but yeah. If you're...
I don't give a shit. It's enough to get me to restart reading it much sooner, honestly.
You should.
So, there you go.
Oh,
fuck yeah. Okay. But nonetheless, yeah, this, I'm fine with all the stuff happening in Justice League, just and the implications that are, started in this DC Year of the Villain. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. But, I don't know, all this connection shit, okay, just leave it. Just leave that.
Yeah. It's just it's mostly just frustrating, because like it interrupts the flow of the regular book you're reading for this event. And like if you're into the event, like that can be fun sometimes. But I don't know. Generally lately I haven't been. This event specifically, I don't know, doesn't really pique my interest.
Well, like also it makes me feel like whenever Lex Luthor is going to show up in other titles, it's just going to be this corporate mandated thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's not a part of that writer's vision for their series. You know, it just feels like, oh, I have to do this now. Ugh. I don't know. Yeah. That's the idea I get from it, at least.
Anyways, as long as we're talking about this, you want to just pivot into our weekly books then?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so we read a bunch of comics this week. Not a ton of comics in our actual weekly stuff.
Yeah.
But then we have Free Comic Book Day stuff on top of that. So a decently sized week. You haven't picked up yours yet, like you said, but anyways.
I'm going today.
So what do we got both this week, Jack?
What do we got? What do we got both? What do we got
both? What do we both got?
We got Black Hammer for DCeased #1, Gogor #1. The
Is that how you pronounce it?
What do you say, Gogor?
Or I was thinking Gogor.
And that's basically what I said.
You said Gogor with like an ER, like it's like Gogurt.
Okay, sorry.
It made me think of Gogurt.
Okay.
Continue.
Gogurt's #1. The Green Lantern #7. DC's You're the Villain, as we just mentioned. We had Hillbilly and the Red-Eyed Witchery from Beyond. #4, that was the end of it. Sorry. I keep forgetting that was the end because it's been so long. We had Justice League #23. And then for Free Comic Book Day, we had... Well, okay. Sorry, I keep thinking of DC's You're the Villain as a Free Comic Book Day thing, but it's not, I guess. It's really not.
No.
We have...
It's their weird fucking, like, sidestepping of Free Comic Book Day. They must, like, someone over there, like, the data for them must, like, show that they're, like, getting nothing out of Free Comic Book Day. I don't understand why they are doing this. Because, like, it's not like they're gonna get, like, the same kind of, like, attention on them for doing this issue as they would if they had a Free Comic Book Day issue. I don't know. Maybe they just think that if no, I don't have any thoughts.
So we also had for Free Comic Book Day the Spider-Man issue, Grumble versus the Goon, and the Stranger Things issue.
Stranger Things.
Because we're super into Stranger Things. No.
Just very into Stranger Things.
Because Black Hammer is upping the back of it. I don't understand why they're called backup issues. Like, they're not backing up anything.
Yeah, they are backing it up.
But like,
what are you talking about? They're like, they're adding they're like added value to it. They're the backup.
Okay, I guess I think of it in a story sense. Like, they back up like the value of it. Yes, I can understand that, but they don't back up anything in terms of like the story of each. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it is about the value. It is about like, here's something extra for you.
Okay.
You know?
That's weird.
Like, I don't know.
Okay, Doug, what'd you...
It's not, but...
Oh, by the way, I just want to make it clear to everyone that we did both get Justice League #23, even though Doug said that the last one was going to be the last one.
I wanted to read the Year of the Villain thing, and I wasn't sure if I needed to know what was in Justice League. So I read it, and I regret it.
The narrator...
Read it? Regret it.
The narrator says... He didn't.
So I also picked up Amazing Spider-Man #20. Hugh. Oh, damn it. Forgot to make my Hugh joke at the beginning of this episode. I don't think I can make that one again.
Oh, shit. Yeah, this is episode...
Marvel, please start doing more events with Hugh at the end of your numbers, even if it's not an event called Hunted, just so I can continue to make Hugh jokes. I love it.
We're on episode number 74, Hugh.
74. Hugh. We've got, I also picked up Batman #70, Paper Girls #28, and Young Justice #5. So, yeah.
Very good.
We're going to talk about some of these books. Jack.
Yes. Yes. There you go. There's a spoiler warning.
That was confusing.
Do you think people will turn it off because they think it's broken? I feel bad now.
That felt like a Who's on First bit. I was like waiting for you to do the sound.
Aww.
And then it just slowly became clear. Anyways.
Wait, can you...
let's talk about these books.
Yeah, can you tell me what Paper Girls is like these days? I still have only read the first volume and I liked it, but like, I don't know. Does it still hold up? Is it still great?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like, it's just gotten crazy.
Really?
Like, it's just absolute bonkers time travel stuff. It's very fun. And it's getting pretty close to the end here, I think. I'm not sure if they're ending at 30 or just over 30, but it's in
the end game.
Still making that joke.
You really can't not make that joke. It's like, it's just, I don't know, it's not like it's an iconic phrase. It's just funny.
It's very funny to say we're in the end game now. I don't know why.
Like just this like look of just like, I don't know, what's coming? We're in the end game now. Very dramatic, like I love it. Yeah, we got the spoiler warning. What are we talking about first? Talking about DCeased?
I want to talk about DCeased. This is the first issue of a 6-issue miniseries. We've got on the credits here, we've got Tom Taylor. I was going to say Tom King, which is very funny. He makes jokes on Twitter a lot about how everybody always like gives Tom King credit for all of his books. Like people are always like claiming that Tom King writes his books. Anyways, so Tom Taylor wrote this. We've got art by Trevor Hairsine and James Heron. So yeah. And it is a 6-issue miniseries that is basically, I don't know if you're aware of this series or not, but it's basically DC's version of Marvel Zombies.
Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's basic. I mean, in the most basic way possible, like that it is literally just it's the superhero universe, but people turn into zombies. You know. So it's their version of that basically. And I was just really struck in this issue by how much this made me want a Tom Taylor written Justice League book.
Oh, yeah. Because, I don't really give a shit about this story at all, like, whatsoever. I didn't give a shit about the premise going into it, but reading this and, like, seeing all the characters interact with each other, like, how he writes Green Arrow, how he writes Batman, how he writes Superman, it's fucking perfect. He's so good. Amazing at characterizing, like, at knowing what a character sounds like and, like, having them speak exactly like they would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a true, like, truly amazing strength that he has. Like, I gotta think that comes through in his Injustice books and why he, like, is able to do otherworld stories too. Like, he's able to put these characters that we know and love into this context that's very, very different. And we're like, we're led along into this crazy premise and storyline by our secure, like, knowledge of what the characters are and how they react to things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that. Like, it's he is so good, at Elseworld stories because, like, he makes those characters feel so familiar, and so it feels all the crazier when he makes the universe take this, like, crazy left turn. Yeah. The one character I wasn't sure, I enjoyed it, but
Cyborg?
Yeah, Cyborg felt a little jokey, which, like, I think really it works. Weird. He's like I'm not sure how old he's supposed to be nowadays, so I'm not sure if he's still supposed to be a teenager, but that's kind of felt like what the angle was here, was that, like, he's writing him like he's a sarcastic teenager, but, like, I'm not sure.
It was kind of funny, but yeah.
What now?
It was kind of funny, but it was just like, funny. Is that one thing where it was like, after that huge scene, at that scene with all the Justice League members being, like, amazing and everything, it was just like, oh, yeah, there's Cyborg, I guess, and he sounds funny, I guess.
Yeah. So basically the premise here is that Darkseid has he has found the last bit of the anti-life equation is in Cyborg. And
Well, because he has mother box technology in him, right?
Since that was a retcon that they made with the New 52 was that Cyborg is basically created from mother box technology, so he's kind of got this connection to the New Gods. I actually like that. But
I really like that. I don't know why it's not like I don't know how much it is actually followed up on, but I would love to read more that connects him with them.
Jeff Johns' Justice League stuff is where you would find that. But anyways, so he kidnaps Cyborg, basically the process was like going to kill Cyborg, but they couldn't. But like, if he dies, then the equation won't work. So they changed Darkseid's always obsessed with the anti-life equation, which is this thing that's going to allow him to enslave all of the universe. Anyways, so he has to change the anti-life equation. So he captures the Black Racer, who is basically the Grim Reaper of the New Gods, and basically integrates death into the anti-life equation, and then activates it, and it fucking starts turning everybody into zombies, basically.
Yeah. Well, because it looks like he kills death, and if death isn't a thing, you know what I mean?
He kills death, they put death into the anti-life equation, and made it basically a virus. So it makes Darkseid's basically rip his forehead off. It's very gruesome. And then so the Cyborg is sent back to Earth, and he accidentally releases it into the Wi-Fi. Not the Wi-Fi. That's fucking nonsense. But he releases it into the internet, and it spreads through technology. I wasn't sure how on board I was with that until they revealed it also spreads physically as well. I was like, well, once people get this, everybody's gonna stop using their technology and it won't spread anymore. But apparently, it's also basically a zombie plague also. So you can get bit or blood on you or whatever.
See, I like the idea because people always say a zombie apocalypse wouldn't happen because we'd be able to see it, quarantine it, and stop it immediately. But with something like adding the added element of it spreading through social media at first, having that first catalyst of action, I think it's a nicer way to, it puts me into more of the story to see it like that. It makes more sense to me in this day and age, you know?
It adds an interesting kind of wrinkle to it where you also can't look at your screen or whatever, there's this other way it can sneak in besides just the zombies have breached the defenses or whatever, and it ties interestingly into how the anti-life equation is often depicted in stuff like Final Crisis and stuff, so it spreads around the world. Superman manages to save Lois, John, and Damian, while Batman basically shuts off everything and is holed up in his home. Although he gets he and all of the Bat family are basically zombies now.
Yeah,
he runs into Nightwing and Tim Drake, and they bite him. They fight him and they bite him.
Batman apparently has not seen a lot of zombie movies. He's still trying to reason with the zombie. He's not immediately oh, okay, I need to get out of here. He's like, Dick, listen to me. I don't want to hurt you. That's the one thing. I don't think Batman would be I feel like Batman would know something about, zombies.
That's always the thing about zombie fiction that is very confusing, is that it's basically, in every zombie fiction thing, it's zombies are not a thing.
Yeah.
Zombie, no one knows what a zombie is.
Can you imagine, if we're talking about different universes, from reality, from our reality, there are other universes that have never had a film about zombie movies. That's not ever been a thing that's been marketed or anything.
Yeah.
I feel like I would love to live in that world.
And that is the world in which a zombie outbreak happens.
Well, yeah, that's the one bad part, I guess. But then again, I don't know. I have a list of places that I could duck up into, but maybe they don't exist into, in those universes.
That's like the number one thing to check. When you go into a parallel universe and everything seems normal, and you're like, okay, wait, we got to run through the things. What's different here? Have you ever seen a zombie movie? And they're like, wait, a what? And you're like, a zombie movie, with like the rawr, and they walk slow or they run or whatever, and they infect people. And they're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And you're like, all right, we got to get the fuck out of here. Some zombies are about to get up in this.
Oh my god, I would watch that movie. Like if they just threw that into a random like dimension like hopping movie, like, that'd be awesome.
Like zombies are about to start infecting people immediately in this universe. Yeah. Nobody has heard of a zombie movie.
They like say like, well, I mean, this new virus, I guess, had that similar effect, but they have it all quarantined. It's all settled. They're like, oh, get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here. It's going to infect everybody.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's great. But otherwise, I mean, I'm excited to see how they, like this, the meat of this story is going to be them dealing with the zombie stuff, at least. And I am more interested in that than this first issue. Like, this first issue, my favorite part were the parts where people were talking, not when people were getting infected. So But
I think it'll be interesting once, because this is all set up. Like, once we get to basically what the heroes or the remaining characters, like, trying to fend this off, like, once we figure out who the core group of characters is who survive this and are trying to survive, I think you'll get a lot more of the stuff that you find interesting. Because this one's a lot of basically just setting up, like, the zombie plague is spreading,
Mm-hmm. I'm interested. I'm excited for Tom Taylor. Sorry. And I really like this art too. I'm really enjoying it. Like, I think it's good for an Otherworld story. Like, it's a little like crazy, but I don't think it's too crazy. You know what I mean? In these like talking scenes, for example, like it's not crazy at all, but it's a much different style when you get to, are there different artists?
Yeah. James Herron is the artist on the Cyborg, Apocalypse stuff. And, it's a different artist on the other stuff in the issue.
Okay, well, I like both of them, and I'm glad they kind of...
What's the person's name? It
is... Trevor Hairsine?
Yes, Stefano that is the artist on all this other stuff. I really like his style. I think it works really well.
Yeah, it reminds me, for some reason, of, I don't know, Clay Mann in a way.
Yeah, there's some almost like Dean Ormston in this.
Yeah,
also.
I can feel that.
Yeah.
But, I'm really excited. I love that art. I like if they keep like having art between those two people, like depending on if they're telling the story on Apocalypse just blew up, so maybe they're not going to have that at the guy.
Yeah, I'm curious if I think Darkseid destroyed Apocalypse and they're all dead now.
Jesus.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm excited. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm going to give it one more, see if I like it, and then that'll tell me if I like the rest of it, I guess. It's only 6 issues. I mean,
it's 6 issues. I'm going to read the whole thing. Like, this one was good enough that I want to see where it goes.
Okay, tell me. What if the zombie version of Batman Who Laughs is the main villain?
Oh, fuck.
Then will you not get it?
I will seriously consider dropping it.
Really? If the rest of each issue has everything to do with Batman Who Laughs, you'll still only have to seriously consider it.
You're asking why I wouldn't immediately drop it.
Yeah.
I might. Which feels really petty, so maybe I wouldn't. I don't know.
I'm gonna call Tom Taylor and tell him to change his story. Get the Batman Who Laughs in there.
I don't think I have anything to worry about. But.
Okay. Well, I would love to start talking about this next one that I'm very excited about.
Yeah. So the other one we want to talk about is The Green Lantern.
Fuck yeah.
Number 7. Did we ever find out if this was a miniseries or not? Or a maxi or something?
You know what? Now I have no fucking idea, because I thought he was going to be stuck in his ring for a long time.
Yeah, he got out pretty quickly. So this is Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp's Hal Jordan-focused Green Lantern series. And in the end of the last issue, Hal Jordan was assumed dead, but turns out he had been kind of sucked into his lantern ring was he sucked in there by Mirwidden, or...
I'm still a little foggy on the reason why he was in the lantern ring.
I don't remember. Anyways, so he got sucked into the lantern ring. Turns out there's a whole fantasy universe in there. And there's an evil wizard, Mirror-Widden, who's an old Green Lantern villain who he trapped in his ring.
No, Abin Sur trapped him in his ring.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, you're right. And then, the ring is running out of power, so the universe is kind of dying.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have to kind of, like, get the ring to Oa so that they can... because I think part of the thing was he had to, like, sever his connection from Oa, from, like, the central power battery, was why it's running out of... I don't remember why, but...
The last thing, to, like, disarm the bomb or something like that? I don't know, because maybe if the bomb was, like, feeding off a certain energy, I think. I feel like that was part of it.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways, this is a lot of a lot of us trying to remember the last issue. But anyways, so he goes through an adventure here. He meets this girl named Penguir, who turns out is an anagram for power ring. So she's kind of the personification of his power ring, and they imply that she is the one great love of his life.
I mean, yeah.
And he loses her. I find that really sad for Hal Jordan.
It is.
That the love of his life is his power ring.
It's also like, it's basically like the love of his life is his willpower, and he's like obsessed with that sort of thing, which is interesting because, again, willpower doesn't always have to be good intentions. It's not always like, I don't know. It's such a weird, like, I really loved this issue, but that's such a strange, I mean, I'm really excited for them to, it's got to be done for a reason, this whole issue. You know what I mean? In terms of Grant Morrison building this character, like, that's got to be something that's going to be built upon. You know what I mean? And how he relates to other people or other beings outside of his ring, or how he, like, prioritizes things like his ring over other stuff. I don't know. I feel like that's coming. That's going to be a thing, though, because that seems really significant.
It's at least, it's a very big moment of characterization. This idea that, like, the great love of his life is his power ring. Like, the fact that he is a Green Lantern is, like, the thing he cares about most.
I love my job. I guess that's a very cop thing, I guess.
Imagine this last panel where he's literally kissing his power ring on his finger, and let's Photoshop that ring out, give him a gun.
Oh my god.
He's just kissing the barrel of his gun. So this whole series is like, this whole series is kind of reimagining, like, let's do the space cop thing, and it's been like a police procedural has been kind of the bit in this series. So like, what is the metaphor here?
To be fair,
does he love his gun?
I think it's his badge.
It's probably his badge. I just think the gun is funny.
It is really funny. Like, that'd be terribly fucked up.
It's that he loves that he's a cop.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really think about this issue in terms of that cop procedural, but that really is it.
He went inside of his police badge, and he met the personification of his police badge.
And saved her from certain death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And there's a lady in there that he now loves. He loves her so much.
What did you think of, what is his name? Liam Sharp coloring his own work?
Did he color this issue? Also, has he not been coloring the other previous issues?
Yeah, this guy named Olaf has been coloring him for, I think, all the other issues.
Okay. I liked this a lot more. We talked previously about how I came to the conclusion that I think the coloring has a lot to do with whether I enjoy or dislike Liam Sharp's art. And I think restrained color palettes, I'm not saying that it needs to be like monotone, but like, I think that his art is so dense with line work that when you kind of overcolor it, when you put too much variety in the color, it is overwhelming to me and like hard to read. So like when you use a restrained color palette like this, where they're staying like largely in the kind of range of green, like green stuff that's sometimes bordering on like a green brown or green blue or green yellow, but mostly green, you know? And I think that it allows the kind of line work it's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
I think the coloring in this really worked, and as a result, the artwork in this is just gorgeous.
Speaking of his line work, though, even some pages, like, I'm open to the, what is it? 1, 2. If you turn 2 pages from the front of your thing, like, this double page does not look like hardly any of Liam Sharp's work, I think. Like, you don't see a lot of that dense line work, even so. Like, it looks very, like, smooth and, like, frothy. You know what I mean? Like, some of this...
Which page are you talking about?
I'm on... Okay. If from the beginning, if you turn 2 pages, you know what I mean? This double page, like, it looks very, like, I don't know, not a bunch of lines, like, in these little, like, things that you see all the time. I don't know, in Liam Sharp's work. Like, it looks smooth. Like, this cape that he has on, it's smoothly going through the wind. I feel like I don't see that a lot in his work. This sand that's slowly, like, going up into these purple hues. Like, it doesn't look like him to me. And it's a crazy difference, and I don't know, it makes me really, really appreciate, like, everything that he can do, and changing it up like this for this issue, is really, really cool. Like, I don't know, just even on the next page, these shadows on the sand, they look like legit shadows because I don't see the line. Like, he blurred them in a way that just makes it so cool. I don't know. And praising the art, I haven't even talked about how great the panel structure is and how it's just lanterns upon lanterns. Like,
yeah,
so
it's all like
cool.
Kind of close-ups of the lantern like emblem, the symbol, and like all the panels are in different kind of sections of the logo, and it's cool. It's a cool device for this one issue, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know sometimes you get turned off by sort of more prose speaking when it's in the middle of issues. Did you enjoy Penguir's narration, or her, like, the story that was told about her? Story in that style?
The story that was told?
So, shut up. You know what I mean? Like,
I like this. Like, I don't recall talking about not liking prose stuff.
Well, you don't like AD After Death.
That's like there are sections of actual prose. Like, there are sections that are just like a chapter of a novel.
This is
not the same. This is captions. This is just a lot of captions.
But it's not the same length, but it's kind of the same style of writing.
This is more akin to something like a Batman Arkham Asylum, or, like that kind of style of just like more of like, it is more prosy, but like more like an illustrated novel than like 2 separate things. I don't know. Anyways, I really like it. I think it works, whatever the case.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to see more. Like, I'm always excited to see more, but this is also just such a different, like, style of writing that we've had, I feel like. Considering other parts of Grant Morrison's Green Lantern run, because I feel like a lot of it has been fun cop stuff. You know what I mean? This is not really fun cop stuff.
This is very different. Other than the kind of, if you want to read it as like he loves his badge or whatever at the end of the day. Other than that, like, the actual story that is told here is like a fantasy story of them like running from these like minions of this wizard and everything.
Who hold their own eyeballs. I love the fucking design of these guys.
Yeah, they're like weird shark guys with no eyes, but then they hold eyeballs. Yeah.
And super buff. They go to the gym
very
every
buff.
day.
They're swole.
I think they have abs under their mouth.
Wait, what?
Go to, like, the first page, Shern. I think they have abs under their mouth. Or is that hair?
They got weird, weird
hair
ribs
abs.
under their mouths. It is strange. It does kind of look like abs.
Right?
Wow. That is jacked. I wish I had I had abs on my neck.
Yeah. Hey, there's surgery for everything these days.
Sir, that is an extremely elective surgery. We will not pay for that.
Oh gosh. And you didn't even tell him about the eyeball part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this book is just this. Can I just say this is like a classic run in the making? This is just amazing shit.
It's very good. Yeah, I would definitely point someone to this if they want. Like, I'm assuming this is going to have an end point at some point. Like, I'm guessing this will be a 12 issue, but
it feels like it.
Yeah, or like a 10 to 12. Anyways, in that case, like this will be a great thing that you can just hand to someone and be like, you want a really great Green Lantern story? Read this.
Yeah,
it's kind of got everything.
Like I know it's crazy at the beginning, but you just got to slow down and just make sure you got everything.
That's kind of how a lot of Grant Morrison stuff, though, is. You know, like a lot of stuff, the beginning, he throws a lot at you. And then once you kind of adjust, and usually he also kind of slows down, like you meet in the middle, kind of, and it's really satisfying.
Every Grant Morrison book you read is sort of an agreement between the author and the person that you just kind of compromise at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of an argument you're having at the beginning, and then eventually, yeah, he calms down, and you kind of calm down, and you both kind of come to an agreement.
That's great. We were just talking about Samantha and I about Final Crisis because she's about to read it in her pile, and I was saying because you've been talking about your reading of Grant Morrison's Batman stuff. Like, I was wondering if she should just read that before going into it, because it looks like it's only like 30 issues of Batman before Final Crisis happens.
Oh, it's much fewer than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not 30. It's like it's like maybe 10. It's not very many.
Do you think it adds a lot to like the ideas that are put in Final Crisis? Because honestly, in Final Crisis, there isn't even that much Batman.
It's not going to add that much. It explains specifically, like all I'm talking about is specifically like what you would get in Final Crisis out of reading Batman, because Batman is great in and of itself, but it just explains kind of the it adds a little bit to basically where you find Batman when you find Batman in Final Crisis.
Okay.
So it
I forgot
kind
what that
of
was. I know
explains how he got there and why and what and kind of gives some like an extra kind of story to that. But like you're not gonna like it's not gonna add something to the central plot of like the dark side stuff and all that. It's more it's stuff specifically about Batman. It's kind of separate.
Okay, well, I'll tell you a nix on that then. I mean, I want to read it
at some point, but I just wouldn't say it's like necessary reading to read Final Crisis.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Doug, is there anything else that you want to talk about? Because I have stuff I want to talk about a little bit.
I'm trying to think. You haven't read any of these Free Comic Book Day issues. I'll give quick words on those. Just for folks, the Spider-Man one is cool. The lead into Absolute Carnage is pretty short but fun.
It is fun. Like, you're excited for the event.
Yeah. I think it'll be cool. I really like the idea that like he's going after like everybody who's ever had the symbiote on them. It's just like building on some like kind of forgotten / ignored history of the symbiote that I think is fun. It's very short though. Most of the issue is actually a backup by Tom Taylor and Saladin Ahmed about Peter and Miles.
I'll fucking take that in a second. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have a question. So like, I don't know, with Carnage, I've always thought that since it's just this like fucking psycho killer crazy dude, I feel like it's tough to give him motivation sometimes. And I feel like him having that motivation of like, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, I feel like that's going to be helpful to like him being a like an interesting villain, right? Yeah.
And especially if they're going to be trying to do a big crossover thing. Speaking of those, I don't know. I think it's a cool excuse to cross over into these other books in a way that like touches on the continuity of those other characters. I don't know why that feels different to me than that You're the Villain stuff, but it does for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on it. But I don't know.
maybe because they're so tied together, like they have been throughout history. Like Carnage came from Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Venom came from Spider-Man. The only reason there's a Venom solo series is because of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, like Lex Luthor crossing over with all these things. Like he's crossing over with Batman.
But
Lex
also,
they
imply in this that this is going to be crossing over with all sorts of shit. Because they call out that, like, other members of the Avengers and the X-Men and stuff have had the symbiote on them at various points. So.
Oh, remember that Vietnam one when we saw Wolverine get it?
Yeah. They'll probably go after Wolverine. Yeah. I don't know. I hope that Donny Cates does a lot of writing in this. I hope that it is not relegated to like the regular series writers, because then that is, but maybe it should be. I don't know. I hope it's not a third party, like they just pull someone else in to just write these tie-ins because like otherwise it's too much writing work for these other people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what happens a lot of the time, and those are the least satisfying version of that. Like, it's not if you're reading the series already, it's frustrating if it's not the regular series writer doing it. And if you're reading the event and you want to read the tie-ins, it's frustrating if it's not the regular event writer. And a lot of times they'll just pull like a random third-party writer in to do a bunch of tie-ins. And I don't like that. But
that's annoying. By the way, speaking of this exact scenario, did you ever read that issue of Venom that you got?
Nope.
Come on, Doug.
They briefly reference it, I think, in this for Comic Book Day thing, but in a way that's just kind of like, yeah. Like, I got it.
Okay.
They said, like, he came back yelling about gods or something. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay. Very cool.
Anyways.
Can we just do a quick word on Gogor, number 1?
I have not read Gogor.
Oh, okay.
But do you want to give a non-spoiler kind of thought on it?
I liked it. I think he's really great at sequential storytelling, and there's a lot of action scenes in this that I really enjoy.
Is Ken Gehring, is that who does this?
Ken Gehring, yeah. Like, I guess it's specifically a chase scene that I really enjoy at the beginning. Yeah. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's quite that interesting, like, but I'm going to give it one more to see what's up, because I don't know, I really like the art style, and I like where it's going, but it seems like it's going to be this, like, episodic, just, like, 10-part thing, but fully episodic.
Can you tell me, I have not read a description of this book, despite having picked it up. Can you just give me a very simple pitch on what this book is about? Is it about like a giant or a golem or something?
I think it's gonna be about a golem. The golem shows up at the, the golem doesn't really show up. Well, you'll see. It's
I like
about
saying
this kid.
The word golem.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Uh-huh.
This kid, basically, while his village is, this kid is being chased by bad people who want this scroll that he has.
Okay. And
it's kind of like a fantasy sort of, we need to get this powerful thing to, overthrow these evil people who are seemingly evading.
Okay. So they're trying to raise this golem?
It seems like that.
Okay. All right. So we haven't gotten really to the golem yet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I don't know if that sells me or not.
Just read it. Yeah, you should just read it. Honestly, I'm a sucker for
I'm going to read the first one. I got it. Yeah. But, just curious, because I didn't really know what the book was.
Honestly, the main reason I got this was because I thought the cover looked cool, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'm a real sucker for people that do all the work on their own comic. Like, I'm such a fucking sucker for that. And, I know. That's why I'm really excited to read Mind Management, too. Like, I love those kinds of things. I don't know. There's something special about those that really make me feel like I'm seeing everything that a creator would want in their book, like, right here. You know what I mean? Like, they are giving all the tools to do exactly what they want, and they're doing it. Like, I don't know. I think that's really, really special, and I'm a sucker for that.
Also, I have to correct you. Please refer to it as Mind Management. It is like a an abbreviation of management. It's MGMT.
What about?
And I did not for the longest time because I was not reading that book, and I just would just see it on the stands, and I would see it, and I would go, "Mind MGMT? What the hell does that mean?" And I don't know why I was so dumb. Why it's so easy, but
I mean, your brain doesn't think I feel like my brain didn't think management at first. I don't know. But one thing though, what if it's just Mind and the band MGMT with their song Hits?
I think that's why I maybe had it in my head, because of the band MGMT. Is the band MGMT supposed to be like the abbreviation for management?
Well, the band member is called Band Management.
Okay. All right.
You ever heard an interview with them? No.
Do they call it that?
No, not at all. I'm giving you shit.
Anyways, I got. He has a. I'm off on a tangent right now, but Matt Kint has a habit of titling his books things that are confusing. Like, I read a series of his called, I think it's supposed to be called Department H. It's DEPT H. And it is about an undersea mystery. Do you see the confusion here?
Yeah, because it should be depth then.
Is it depth? Is it depth or is it Department H?
I mean, maybe it's both.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Interesting.
Yeah, I read a series by Ken Gehring when I was first getting into comics that I fell off of called Planetoid. I was always curious.
What's it about?
I feel like I heard good things about it, but it was like a space. It's like a sci-fi series on like a trash planet.
Trash planet.
I don't really remember much about it, and I feel like I read the first few issues and liked it, but then fell off. So I don't really remember. Anyways, I'm curious to read another book of his and see if now that I have like read a lot more stuff, if my opinion on him has changed.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm excited to revisit it. Anyways,
I'm excited for you to read it. Yeah, it's good. It's not blowing me out of the water, but I'm interested enough to give it another shot. Would you?
Very cool.
And also, did I sell you enough on Meet the Skrulls yet last night? Doug dropped off of this series, but I think it's shifted quite a bit in the focus of the story, and I think he would like it. So, Doug, Did I convince you?
Maybe. I'm probably not going to get around to it.
Okay, that's fine.
I feel like I have higher priorities.
It's only 5 parts, though. There's only one more after this, so you're only missing 2 right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna you tell me how the end is, and tell me like if this is necessary reading, honestly, because I feel like it's not.
Okay. I also really like these covers. I think they're all so good.
Oh yeah, are they still doing?
They're all Marcos Martin.
Yeah, Marcos Martin.
Every single one.
They are Marcos Martin. He's great.
Did you see the one for this issue, number 4? It's this dude that is interested at the beginning, and it's in his glasses is the reflection of the family in their eyes, and it's, I don't know, I think it's very, very nice. I love him. Yeah, are there books by Marcos Martin that I need to read?
Yeah, for sure. If you want Marcos Martin art, he did he's done some stuff with Brian K. Vaughan. He did The Private Eye, which is a digital series that they did. If it's very interesting if you try to find a physical version of it in a store. It is horizontally laid out instead of vertically.
Oh,
because it was made for screens, so it's all kind of widescreen.
Interesting.
But you can buy print books of it, and so they're like wide books.
Well, that's the same thing that you did with Barrier.
Yep. Yeah. They release those on his website, Panel Syndicate.
Cool.
So they do pay what you want comics on there, and that's where Private Eye was. That same team also did. Was Doctor Strange: The Oath. Is a great Doctor Strange story. It's like a 3-4 issue thing. So it's pretty short.
That's also
but it's very good.
Digital?
No, that's just a Marvel book.
I was gonna say that'd be weird.
I'm trying to think. He did stints on Mark Waid's Daredevil also that I have read.
That's on my list. I really want. You read that whole run?
Not the whole thing. I've read a large chunk of it, and I've always meant to go back and keep reading it, but I fell off at some point.
Okay.
It's great, though, what I have read.
Gotcha.
Very fun.
Can we now take some time to talk about, quick word, speaking of Matt Kent, on Black Hammer 45. This issue was, did you read it?
I did.
This issue was my favorite of his art because, like we were talking about before, I think both of us are kind of the opinion that in this series, at least, he's much better at drawing the big, like, crazy, like, robot shit going on, as opposed to, like, the small, like, minute, like, conversations of people person to person. And this had a lot of big robot shit, and I thought he did really, really well.
Yeah, he's really good at drawing the, like, plane dogfights and, the giant robots and the, like, people driving around in jeeps and stuff than he is at, like, drawing people sitting around talking.
Yeah.
And, there was a lot of action in this one, and I thought it worked to his strengths.
Yeah. But all in all, this story just is not at the level, unfortunately, of the other ones, and I don't know. No. It's not that Ray Fox...
and that's kind of part of the deal with it being co-written and or scripted. It's scripted by Ray Fox,
Yeah. It's not that he fucks it up, but it's just not as good. Sorry, I just really want to make that joke.
It's interesting when you get around to the Black Hammer backup in the Dark Horse Free Comic Book Day issue.
Oh yeah.
Tie-ins to Black Hammer 45.
Oh,
it's interesting.
Okay, I'm excited.
It is a small little story, but is a cool one. I am excited for whatever comes of it. I am curious if there is a book announcement incoming at some point.
Wow. Okay. One last thing, since we are a little bit ahead of schedule, I think. Hillbilly and the Red-Eyed Imagery from Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
You read it?
Up. I did.
It's done. I thought this was my favorite issue of this series. It's one of my favorite issues of Hillbilly, I think. I loved this shit. With him going to space and meeting this old dude. Like, I don't know. I was just really taken with this story kind of for the first time. Maybe I just didn't like it as much in the first 3 issues, and I really liked this one. I don't know what it was, but I thought it was just done really, really well. I loved the art in this one, and it didn't.
Was this the same artist as the first issue, or is this a completely different artist that has not been in the series at all?
I don't know, because it did feel different. Did you look back at all?
Like of a similar school to the art from the first issue, but I don't think this is the same person.
No, especially because the other dude that's with Hillbilly looks a lot different to me, specifically.
Yeah.
I really liked it though.
It works. It's a very, I don't even know how to describe it. It's very stylized. But it works. I miss Eric Powell though.
I know.
I'm feeling sad that we're getting less and less Eric Powell these days. He's even his regular series. He's going to be like handing off art duties every once in a while.
You mean for the Goon?
Or the Goon, I mean, sorry.
Really?
Even his new Goon book.
Yeah. It's too bad. But, I mean, yeah, that kind of sucks actually. But, hey, his writing is still coming through. I think it's still good here. I still love these characters. Also, I really love this cover on this one. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
This
is a fantastic cover.
That was Eric Powell, right?
Yeah, this is Eric Powell for sure.
Oh, shit, yeah.
This is an excellent.
Like, this is one of the ones I would love on my wall without the barcode.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking Eric Powell. God. He does a fucking good cover, too.
Yeah.
He really knows how to do a good cover. Interior's also incredible, but.
It reminds me of, like, Starman if he was Hillbilly.
Yeah, this is the Tom Kalor Starman, but it is Hillbilly. Anyways.
Yeah, ends up story well. I don't really have much else to say. What's cool. Batman 70 is out of this Nightmares arc, right? That's what I've heard.
It's like, yeah, it is the first issue where he has escaped the Nightmares arc.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how is it? How is the first one coming out? Is it great?
It's cool. Yeah. I mean, I think they're tying everything together in some really cool ways. It's been kind of a long kind of wait to get back to the like impending kind of dire story that it seemed like we were in.
Oh, really?
With a lot of one-off stories, but now that we're out, I feel like I got a lot. I got some stuff out of those one-offs. So I don't know.
Okay.
It's cool.
Very, very cool. Very nice. Okay, well, we got books next week too, don't we?
We do. What do we got next week?
Fancy that. We have Black Hammer, Age of Doom, number 10. Super. Yeah, just give me more. I feel like Age of Doom.
How many issues of the original Black Hammer series were there?
I just have 2 volumes. They each have different subtitles, but that happens a lot. I think it was just 12, though. I think it was 12. I'll keep talking. You go ahead and look at it. We have Detective Comics number 1003, which may be both of our last ones if it doesn't kind of get going. Am I wrong?
What series?
Detective Comics 1003.
Yeah, I'm real on the fence about that one. This one needs to impress me.
Yeah, it needs to kind of step it up. We have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 6, which just keep doing what you're doing, Tom Taylor. Ice Cream Man number 12. That's nice. Fun. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. We have Invaders number 5. We're very much in the end game with that one. Shazam number 5. Keep doing what you're doing, Jeff. And I'm not going to get this one, probably, but Doug is...
Yeah.
Batman and the Outsiders,
that,
number 1.
The long-delayed debut of Batman and the Outsiders, number 1. It's a team book by Brian Hill, who wrote the kind of intro arc for this new iteration of the Outsiders in Detective Comics, one of the fill-in arcs before Tomasi took over. I was interested enough in kind of how he wrote those characters that I want to try this. So
yeah,
I'll let you know how it is.
Okay. Very, very cool. Before we leave here today, Doug, I have a discussion that not a discussion even. It could turn into a discussion, but I have something I need to say.
Okay.
I want to talk about, because, as everyone knows, I'm newer to comics, and it's taken me a weirdly long amount of time to understand bolded words in comics, and which ones are bolded, and why.
Interesting. Okay.
I didn't notice until this week, really, I noticed and I started reading them in the correct way, but I didn't really think about it and how that sort of experience of those bold words has changed, until this week. When I first started, reading anything in form of comics, it would have been a Mad magazine from when I was a kid. I would read these bolded words and I would be like, okay, wait. So if I read each bolded word, does that mean something? And then I would go through and I'd be like party or we, and I'd try to make a sentence. I'd just read those words and I'd be like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. What the fuck? And then I would think okay, I'll read this. And then those bold words, they're probably sort of thematically what the story is about. But then words like the would be and I'd be like, yeah. Why is the, if it's not a part of a sentence?
Yeah.
So I didn't really get that. But I think in reading comics more in the last year and a half, I've understood that it's literally about how they're saying the word.
Yeah.
I don't know why it took me so long.
It's an accent. It's like putting an accent on languages that use accent lines on on their letters. You're putting vocal stress on that word. However, I want to say that that's not necessarily how everyone does it.
Really?
There are different kind of schools of, not schools, it's not that big of a thing, but there's different kind of ways people do this. And I think there has also been a shift over time. I feel like that's how most people use them nowadays. But I do think there are still a lot of kind of more classical styles of comic book writing that do treat them not as that, and do treat them as here are the important words. Here are the proper nouns. If we're introducing a new thing, we're going to bold it. Or if we're saying the name of a character, we're going to bold it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I do think over time that it became more of a stylistic kind of like indicator of like how the person is saying the line. But yeah, it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say that's how it is across the board.
But also,
most people do it.
That emphasis is really important part of like reading the story, I think. Like, I don't know, because everything is so based around dialogue, like it's, I don't know, that's interesting that people still do it in that way that you were saying. I haven't noticed that, so I'll have to take that into account. Also,
a lot of people, it's an art to like doing it right, and not everyone does it great.
Oh yeah.
Like some people bold like the wrong words. Like they like bold a word and you try it in your head and you're like, that doesn't sound, why would you say it like that? It doesn't mean the right thing. Like, you know, like sometimes you'll be like, I don't understand why this word is bolded as opposed to this word because like it doesn't sound right and that word's not important. So it's confusing. I don't know. Some people are good at it. Some people are less good.
Interesting. Like the one that I noticed it in was Meet the Scrolls actually. And that was when I was noticing like, I guess that's what it is. And I just noticed like, it made me notice like my experience of bolded words and how it's different now than it was before. And I don't know, I thought I was doing it really well. Like I was reading it in the correct way and it seemed like it was right. And I was like, oh wow, that's a thing, I guess. Like it's a conscious thing now that I'm doing. So yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I think it's important.
Cool. Yeah. Fucking letters getting shit done.
Well,
sometimes I wonder if that's a decision that they make or if that's in the script. I don't know.
I feel like it's gotta be in the script because sometimes they mean completely different things if certain words are emphasized.
But maybe that's a decision that the letterer makes later to clarify because they're like, I need to make this could mean this other thing. Or maybe I should bold this word. I don't know. I'm guessing there's a mix. I'm guessing sometimes that decision is on one person, sometimes it's on the other. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can feel that. Cool.
Cool. All right, that's going to do it for this week. If you made it this far into the show, thank you so much for listening. The absolute biggest thing you can do for us if you like the show is give us a review or a star rating on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. If you enjoy the show, let someone know about us with your mouth or with your mouth.
Oh, thank you. By the way, we say, so the absolute biggest thing you can do for us all the time. We should change up that adjective at some point to like maximum or ultimate, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All new biggest thing you can do for us now. We release episodes weekly on Sundays, so be sure to check back in next week. If you subscribe to the show, you don't even have to think about it. Just appears on your phone as if magicked there by the genie Will Smith.
Do you like the word magic being used as a verb?
Oh, I love it.
Really?
Just magic it. I'm a big fan of making dumb words into verbs.
Really? Like what?
Yes.
Like a slaps?
Like that's not really. I mean, I guess that. Yeah, that's kind of an example. Yeah, I love verbing things.
It's actually that's actually the opposite, right? Because usually it'd be like magicked is a noun becoming a verb, but this is a verb becoming an adjective, right?
No, it's actually just a verb still being a verb. Now that I think about it.
Really?
Yeah, it slaps. It is slapping.
That's so... Okay. Sorry, I can't talk about that word anymore, apparently. It's just so fucking weird. Okay. You can subscribe to the podcast feed and never have to think about it on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Overcast, Google Play Music, Spotify. A lot of things. By the way, I just want to talk about Stitcher for a little bit. I've been recently listening to the Wolverine podcast on Stitcher Premium, and it's great.
So it is still behind the paywall on Stitcher, correct?
It is, but you can do if you do a free month right now, you'll be able to listen to all of them for free.
But didn't you? Okay, so did you not use that to listen to the first season?
I did.
So what? So are you just paying for Stitcher Premium?
No, I have 3 different cards in my wallet.
Oh my god. You're cheating the system.
What? It's not cheating, it's legal.
Uh-huh. Wait, so did you make you made a different account then?
Yeah.
Oh boy, wow. Yeah, you were going to some extreme lengths to.
It's really not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 2 seconds to make an account.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have a little notification that says cancel it on this date. It's easy.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's going to be, the way I see it, it's going to be up for free at some point anyways. I'm just doing it now. And I'm giving them a little bit more downloads right now so they can be like, hey, we should make more of this. You know, I'm helping the artist.
Anyways,
it's good. Second season is even better than the first, I think. I highly recommend it for everybody.
I've been wanting some more kind of narrative podcasts lately, so maybe I'll go back and listen to the first season.
It's cool. It's a cool mystery. I like the voice acting. I think it's done very, very well. It's just a different medium of storytelling that you're not like all the time used to. Like at least I'm not that used to. Like I haven't listened to a lot of podcast stories. Yeah, exactly. But it's super cool, especially this season. But no matter what podcast app you prefer, for us at least, we've got you covered. In the meantime, before the next episode, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram under the handle @ComicsCovered. You can also find web archives of all our episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com. And on our YouTube channel, we have video versions there that aren't actual videos, but they are videos.
They're videos that aren't videos.
And those are on Facebook as well. There are videos that aren't videos. But if you want to get a hold of us and ask us, what does that mean? Send us a message on Facebook or Twitter or at our email, comicscovered@gmail.com. I want to thank you all again for listening. You're wonderful. And if you want to know anything about our personal lives, just ask. Mm-hmm. We'll tell you everything. Doug will tell you everything. My name is Marduk, the Mallard.
And I'm Doug. This has been Comics Covered.